Hit it!
Hi guys, Ashley here. I hope you're doing well today. Today I really wanted to talk to you about the journey that I think we're all on, and the journey to find that kind of place of inner peace and happiness, and to be able to really come to a place of self-love, really. And I wanted to just be so open and honest about how confusing I know it can be. And there's so many different messages and so many different people out there saying so many things, and they can sound really great and they can be really great, but then sometimes when you can try and apply them in your own life, it doesn't 100% resonate with you. And sometimes, you know, the one that I can find sometimes can be conflicting is, for example, I talk a lot about accountability and taking accountability of your life and being able to really take responsibility for your thoughts and your beliefs and your place in your life. Now that can be sometimes confusing, because when people say take responsibility for your life, in my opinion, it doesn't mean taking responsibility for other people's actions or taking blame for having been in a really bad situation in your life. Or I don't think that should mean that you shut yourself off to the concept that there are injustices being done in the world. You know, there's so much tragedy and pain in the world, but if we don't come to terms with the war within ourselves, it's very hard for us to be proactive and to come from a place of really inner stillness and peace when coming into conflict with other people is so important that we know who we are and we know ourselves. And that's not exclusive to you sitting here listening to me now, because it's so important that you know yourself well enough to know whether or not you even agree with me. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I just want to share my experience with you, and if it resonates with you, I really think that's fantastic. You know, that's really great, and I hope it helps and serves you in some way. But at the end of the day, what I would really like to get across is really it's all about you. And for you to know that you are your own savior, and to know that the answers are within you. But that also doesn't mean that you can't learn from other people and that you can't learn from your experiences. But you have your own inner compass, and you have your own guide, and your feelings can be your guide. So, you know, for example, if you're listening to me say something and it doesn't resonate with you, let it go. But you can also ask yourself the question, does it not resonate with me because I'm avoiding something within myself, that my ego is fighting it in some way? Or does it not resonate with me because this is not my truth? And that's really what I would like to share with you, is my process of just being able to question myself and question the things that happen around me, but always trying to connect to that inner guide, that inner system, the inner sense of knowing, and the inner peace that we all have within us. And there's no one that can really tell you what's right or wrong. I mean, they can tell you, but it's up to you to choose whether or not you believe in it. And to really get to know yourself well enough to know what feels right and what feels wrong. And that's why, for me, Pain to Power is really about coming into your authentic power. And to not ignoring your pain. So not just covering things up with positive affirmations and trying to be poly-positivity all the time and like, you know, like everything's great. I'm like, no, I'm just feeling perfect. I am love, everything is love, everything is great, everything, you know, and it's like, then finally you're rocking yourself back and forth, just saying it over and over again. Because the thing is, if we don't deal with the pain that we have inside, then these affirmations aren't going to do anything. They're just going to create even more conflict within us, because we're going to feel what's wrong with me, that they're not working. And that shame is going to perpetuate all of these negative emotions that you're trying to escape. I always say that positive affirmations are like building a mansion on a garbage dump. It's like, it might look really beautiful at first, but after a while, the house is going to stink. So it's not that affirmations aren't great. I use them myself also, but I think it's great to be able to become aware of how we feel inside at any given moment and what it is we're trying to escape and what it is that pain means to us. Because there's nothing greater than the fear of the fear itself. And being scared to go in and not really living our truth and honoring ourselves, because the fear we have is there to teach us something. The pain we have is there to teach us something. And if we can be still with it, it's amazing how quickly our emotions can move through us. And emotion, it's set in motion, so if we can be still and present with us, then the emotions can move through us more quickly. And again, this is my experience. So I say it in hopes of just touching something within you that says yes or no, and it resonates with you or it doesn't. But either way, you've learned something from the experience, more about what's true to you. So really this episode, I just wanted to be about being honest with that. I'm not perfect. I just have had a lot of experiences that have led me to myself. And what I've realized is that the more you speak your truth, the more people resonate with that truth. And so one of the questions that I always ask myself is, when I'm responding to something, or when I'm reacting, or when I'm confronted with any sort of stimulus that's making me feel afraid, that's making me feel pain, I always ask myself, am I coming from a place, am I going to react just without thinking, or am I going to respond in a way that is a conscious choice based on my true self, my more authentic and empowered self, a place that's not reacting based on fear, but taking that fear, analyzing it, and then responding in a way that resonates with who I want to be. So for you, I would just, if it resonates with you, to begin to ask yourself, when you're about to react to a situation, are you reacting from a place of personality and ego, in that, are you going to get offended? Are you going to get, taking things personally? Are you making assumptions about people? Are you disappointed by expectations that you've had? And just analyze that. Is that the place you're coming from? Are you coming from a place of personality, of yourself, one word? The place of ego and personality, and the place of yourself that likes to create stories and gets offended and takes things personally? Or are you coming from your true self, the authentic self? It's not about blaming yourself or guilting yourself, because that's just creating, that's trying to solve a problem with the same thing that's created it. It's connecting to your true self and saying, what would someone who loved themselves do? And if you can't find that love for yourself, just ask yourself, if I loved myself, if I truly had compassion towards myself, if I came from a place of my heart, what would I do? And sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Sometimes you have to take the actions of a person that loves themselves to learn that you do love yourself, to teach yourself that. So just ask yourself, when you're in a situation where you're reacting emotionally, when you're feeling a lot of fear and you're about to react, maybe you can choose a response that resonates more with you, so that you can have a better experience in your life, so that you can still look at the pain and you say, okay, crap, I'm feeling this way. This is really shitty, and I feel awful. But I have a choice now to react or respond, and that's my responsibility. It doesn't mean that there isn't injustice. It doesn't mean that something hasn't been done to you. It just means that you take responsibility for yourself and use that as an opportunity to connect with your true self, which is, what your emotions are leading you towards anyway, in my opinion. Only my opinion. But I really hope that this episode helped you today, and I really hope that what I said resonated with you. And even if it didn't, I appreciate you listening, and I hope that it gave you at least some sort of guidance towards yourself, where you feel that you know yourself a little bit better just based on whether or not you liked or didn't like what I said. So, yeah, If you like it, please like it and share it and comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences and your opinions and how you feel about what I said, and we can have a dialogue like we have every other episode and just really continue to take that conversation and see how we feel. And I'd love to learn from you as well. So I really appreciate you coming here today, and I will see you next Thursday for another episode of Pain to Power. Take care, guys. Bye.